Welcome to another episode of Irish from 3. I'm Jason Holcomb, joined by girls head coach Evan Jefferson. Coach, had a split over the weekend. Girls learned a lot about themselves, I imagine, though, too. Tell me what you learned about them over this weekend as far as taking on some tough teams and trying to move forward.
That they can bounce back from a loss. I feel like we should have won Friday. Had a couple of adversity things happen during the game, but, we had to move forward. We came back Saturday, got a big region win, and now we're looking forward to Montgomery County this upcoming Saturday.
Yes, and Christmas break always is kind of strange. For everybody else, they're going home. Basketball's still here practicing, working hard. Used to, back in the old days, we used to have a Christmas tournament here at Dublin. I enjoyed it, and I had to thank that booster club because they used to pack the hospitality room full of groceries. So it felt like it was Christmas morning every time I walked in there to get a snack. But before we talk any more about the schedule, we want to highlight our Optum Player of the Week. All right, Coach, Trinity is another one of those players that you've been infusing and trying to get into your system, and I see that there's been a lot of good production from her. Talk about the things that she's doing that's helping make these Lady Irish successful.
Trinity is one of our freshmen, one of our babies, as we call her, and she's like a little sponge. She's always eager to learn. She's always eager to get better. She comes to the gym early every day. She asks questions if she doesn't know. And whenever we put her out there, her energy and effort is always through the roof. She's on the floor. She dives for loose balls. She don't mind getting down and dirty. She do everything that we ask. And it basically symbolizes what the crown is all about.
That's awesome. And, the thing I love about her, she comes from a great family. They're wonderful people, and I know that she's going to give great effort. And having that kind of energy has got to give everybody else a little excitement and get them rolling. Now, we can't be too excited because the season continues, and I know this weekend we've got another matchup. Talk about what you're trying to teach the girls this week as far as game planning and strategy to get another win.
Every game is important, but the region games are definitely, they take a lead over the non-region games because you want to win your region. You want to get the highest seed possible, which the 1 seed. You want the easiest path to get to the state playoffs. So I tell them every week that we have a target on our back. They have to embrace it, can't run away from it, and just be ready.
That's all we can do is be ready. And one thing we want everybody to be ready for too is the fact that the schedule had to be changed around. That's just the reality of what we're living in. Had some games changed. I think we had the Telfair game for the ladies moved to the end of January. And we'll make sure to keep all those up to date for you. Want to also let you know that all our home games, you want to go to Eventbrite, make sure to purchase those tickets in advance. We've only got 400, so we want to make sure that you guys come out here and support these ladies and the Irish because it's a lot of fun, a lot of high energy. I also want to tell you our home games are right on NFHS, and if you subscribe, you get to also watch them back. So if you have a child on the team that you're following, you can rewatch their plays over and over and over and over. You turn into a coach if you want to. Well, Coach, when we go through this Christmas break, before we cap it, what's the biggest challenge as a coach when everybody's going to be home and some of those routines that you've tried to build up? How do you keep those rolling through the holidays?
I think the biggest challenge is just keeping them focused, mainly because it is the holiday break. Most of the girls are already at home because of virtual schooling. But now that there will be no school, we have to try and get them focused as far as eating, drinking, hydrating throughout the day, not sleeping the whole day because they don't have class at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Teenagers sleeping? What are you talking about?
So I think that's the biggest thing, but I think it helps that a couple games will reschedule and that we are playing over a lot of games over the Christmas break. So I think it'll keep them grinding and keep them ready to work and staying hungry.
That's right, and we want you guys to stay hungry for Lady Irish and Irish basketball all season long. When we come back, we'll be talking with Coach Ben Smith on Irish from 3. Welcome back to Irish from 3. I'm Jason Holcomb, joined right now by boys head coach Ben Smith. Coach, lost a game, then won a couple games. I know this last couple games, you have to learn something at each and every one of them. What did you learn from the loss?
The loss, honestly, I was more pleased in our effort in the loss than I've been the last 2 wins. I felt we had a lot of adversity going into the Baldwin game. We thought we were gonna have our team back, and then they were still under quarantine, so we had to deal with that all week. Not having them, then thinking we are gonna have them Wednesday, then not having them again. And then the day before, we found out one of our starters, our second leading scorer at the time, broke his hand. Natavius blood saw. So we went into that game, with a lot of things working against us, but our team performed. We were there we had guys like Justin Willis, who hasn't ever started a varsity game, hasn't really played with minutes, had to play big minutes, played well. I think we just kind of, the inexperience from guys in those moments kind of hurt us at the end, but our effort was great. The last 2 wins in region, honestly, the only good thing is that we won.
Hey, you're going to speak truth. I hope everybody's ready for that. There's never not going to be truth coming out of Coach Ben's mouth.
For sure.
But I know that's good for the boys to hear that too, because that keeps you hungry and keeps you fighting. And I know when we get into this deep region play where we've got some solid teams to compete against, you're going to be ready for that. But before we jump into that schedule, let's go ahead and check out our Optum Player of the Week. All right, Coach, that culture chain keeps spreading around. And I also want to do a quick shout out to Chris Darasol, because he puts out some of the coolest little pictures of the kids. And I don't know how much time he spends on those, but it just means a lot, I know, to you and to all the kids. And it does to me as well, to see somebody who doesn't have to do that, who takes the time to do it. So thank you for that, Chris. But talk about when Quantez gets that culture chain, what did he do to earn that?
Quantez is, I keep telling him and the team, he's really what the program is about. When he gets out there, it's all about will and want to. We love him as a player, but honestly, he's not in our probably top 7 talented guys. But when he hits the floor, he gives everything he got. And if a stranger came in and they asked me, what kid would you identify that represents your program? I know most people, the outsiders, would think I'm going to pick like one of the guys who scores and starts, but it would be Quantez, just because every day we don't have to question what he's going to bring. Like, the other guys are doing great. They do great 80% of the time, but there's days where they're not where they should be and they rely too much on their talent. But him, every day, whether it's practice or on the floor, once he get in, it's instant energy, and he's just a dog.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I appreciate that kind of effort, and that effort has to bleed over into everyone else. You start wanting it a little bit more, and we're going to have to want it more as we get into this region schedule. As I said earlier, we had to rearrange some things with some of our games, and we're going to flash that graphic for you. But Coach, regardless of what the schedule looks like, we've got games over Christmas, and then we hit real deep into that schedule when we come out of Christmas. What do you have to do, and what do the boys have to do to make sure that Dublin basketball is still heading in the right direction when we come back?
We have to get back to the essence of who we are. I think through success, through feeling individually, we gotten better individually, no doubt, which is it's a salute to the guys and their work. As the gritty aspect, I feel we're taking a step back, and we have to get back to that, just being an overall tough team. And for us, the focus part, to sum it all up in a quote, we have to get back to competing, not just working hard. Working hard in practice, we're going to do that. That's required, but we're not competing well enough against each other in practice. So when we get in the game and we playing these guys who might not be as talented as us, they're just playing harder. And that's something as a coaching staff that we're not going to tolerate. And as players, we have to fix. And that's probably going to be the main focus over the next week or two.
Well, the good thing about that all goes back to that capital E, effort. I mean, that's really, and you can give that all day long, whether you're good, bad, or in the middle. So I know you'll find a way to get that effort to come out of those young men. We want you guys to make an effort as well to come out and support the Irish and the Lady Irish all season long. If you want to check us out, you got to go to Eventbrite, buy those tickets in advance, or go ahead and buy the season tickets, what's left of them. We've only got 400 seats to give out, and once they're gone, they're gone. And I know the coaches hate having to tell folks, sorry, if it's gone, it's gone. So don't put them in that spot, okay? Just go ahead and buy those tickets and be done. If you're not able to make the game physically, our home games are broadcast by NFHS. We got 2 wonderful young men working with Mr. Ellenberg, putting together a broadcast that I am very proud of, and looking forward to build upon that with our video team. Want to make sure that you guys are constantly checking up on the Irish across social media, all over everywhere. We want to make sure that we can guide these young men and these young women as deep as they're supposed to go this year and every year. Want to thank you guys as always for joining us with Irish from 3.